Also because I've always been a person who reads books. So I was always reading books, watching videos on YouTube about business and watching motivational speakers speak. And the one thing they will always emphasize is how you must be different. You know,
Mm.
you must always look outside the box. And if you want to be different, you can't be, if you want to be a different graduate, a unique graduate, a unique metallurgist, you don't want to be someone, oh, I just know that I've always been a focused student. This is all I know.
Yeah.
No, you want to say, I have got good networking skills. I learned networking skills when I was in university because I was networking. I was going attending seminars,
Yeah.
free seminars. I'm talking about things that are free.
Yeah.
Use my own money, and I go into a taxi. I go to Santon Convention Center. There's a Leader X seminar there. When you get to Leader X, there's so many companies. There's people from MTN. They are talking. There's people from APSA. There's people from different companies. And then you network and you take numbers, you exchange numbers. I've got so many business cards, and I got them, all of them, when I was a student. So you want to be a different graduate, you
Yeah.
want to be a graduate who has skills that are outside your academics.
Wow.
So that gives you definitely a competitive advantage, because you see things differently, obviously.
Yeah.
And even when you get into the business sector or a business environment, you will see things differently. They'll say, this guy has so much energy. This guy just gels with people.
Yeah.
But they don't know you gel with those people because you've been exercising that. For some people it's natural, yes. But for some people, you need to work on it. And the best way is by doing exactly that, networking and so on. Yeah.
Wow, man, what you've just said now is like, yo, it's the holy grail, bro. Because like we do not get instilled with that as student. I think students, what they think about is just to study and pass. That's their main
Yes. Just
focus.
want to graduate.
And then
Yeah.
they miss out on all these other things. And you find that now you're a graduate, but you don't have this other soft skills that are needed in corporate.
No. Yeah. And one of the things I also want to say about students is, you can do internships every year, Ben. Students can actually go and do internships every year from their first year.
And how long does an internship
Internship can be any length, can be 2 months, can be a month.
Oh, aren't those like vocational
Yeah,
vacation
they are
work?
vacations. So maybe I should say vacations then. Yes,
Yeah.
vocational work. Students should try and do vocational work at companies. That also, when you graduate, you already have so much experience. People are like, this guy has already worked at Discovery, worked at Deloitte, worked
Yeah.
at what. The companies are looking for that. And sometimes people don't know they need someone until you come along. Let's say I'm working at this company and I've got too much work, and there's certain things I just don't want to do because they're just too basic and they're wasting my time. That's why companies recruit interns and vocational work. Okay, I will ask this guy to come and work for us for 3 months. At least he will be able to do this thing for me every month. So every month, this guy will be doing 1, 2, 3 for us, or every day will be doing this for us. Then I don't have to do that anymore. I can focus on the main thing. You get it? Yeah.
I see.
So companies are looking, man. You can always approach people, and the best way is through LinkedIn. You just text someone, okay, I'm interested in a company like Discovery. I've read about the website and I think it's exciting.
Sure.
Here's a guy who works at Discovery. You text him, look, man, even if it's for a month, can I just do this things? It's called job shadowing. Can I just come and do a job? Yeah. If you guys don't mind that. And he says the challenge obviously might be if he says we don't have a budget, we might not be able to pay you. That's where the challenge is. But if you don't mind that, then you go. Some people say we're not gonna pay you, and then you work, and after that, maybe they feel guilty because you've been doing so well, and they say, no, we must give this guy something.
Yeah. You've just started out, in corporate. How has that been for you, especially from varsity to corporate? Is it a big jump?
I think it is. It was very exciting, though. I mean, I was so excited and happy to join corporate because it's something new. When you're about to approach something, you're like, what will this be like? You're curious, you're excited. I was very much that's all of those emotions, all of those feelings. And then the stress came because then I had to try and balance everything, the MSc, the rotation work, the program involvement. I had to make sure that I deliver in each of these pieces, and there's expectations all around, and you need to make sure you give quality when you deliver.
Yeah. So what could you say to someone who maybe they're doing their final year and then maybe they're gonna be getting into corporate maybe next year? What should they look out for? What are the things that perhaps they need to be on the watch for? In what way should they approach this and stuff like that?
I think from now they should try and practice time management from now, because if you can get that right in your university years, then corporate, even though you'll have that stress, it won't be too bad because you'll know how to structure your time appropriately, when to deliver what and when. And basically, yeah, just develop a good mindset from now. Have a positive perspective about corporate. Know that even though it's stressful, be excited to learn, be hungry to learn, have that willingness to learn. You may come in knowing nothing. That's perfectly all and good. I came in knowing nothing when I came into corporate in terms of the technical skills, but you just have to be willing to learn. And when you do that, you absorb much more in terms of your learnings, and your learning curve is more exponential if you put it in a mathematical way.
Yeah.
So what then happened was that with me, I made sure that while I'm at varsity, I made sure that I exposed myself to the corporate world as far as possible. And what that meant was um, applying for vacation work as much as I could. Like whatever vac work came, I had to apply for it. I remember at the beginning of each term, I would sit with my calendar, I would then go, okay, for this company, when is this thing opening? For this company, when is this opening? And I would do all of that and apply where I need to apply, set reminders. Like almost every recess, actually, I think all of them, every recess that I had at school, I was doing something with the corporate. I think, let me, if I could recall, in first year, June recess, I was at PwC doing their work. I think that December, in first year, I did EY. The following year, I think I did KPMG. Then I also did Nedbank as well. I also did First Rand. I did Sanlam. I did Rothschild. So those are just some of the corporates that I made sure that I exposed myself to. And just see how these guys do it. So what ordinarily happens is that, and this is more directed towards the CAs part of your audience, in these networks, you get to engage with CAs that some have qualified, and in some instances, those that are actually doing the training. So you get to ask those questions, and you get to hear it from the horse's mouth what they do on a daily basis. So when you get to the end of your fourth year on your CTA year, and you're applying for a job in a bank, when you tell that bank that I don't want to be, I don't know, maybe I don't want to be in auditing, you have a very concrete reason why you don't want to be in auditing, because you have been in auditing throughout your third year, throughout your studies. You've exposed yourself there, you know what's happening there. Instead of just saying, yeah, I do want to be in a bank, and you want them to take you at your wage. So yeah, corporates are key while at varsity, that exposure. And then the university itself as well has its own initiatives of making sure that they develop you as an individual over and above as a student. So you just mentioned that we met through leadership. So those leadership skills, I got them through the ZCCSF, where I was a chairperson. I think you were also chair when we were. Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, where we were chairperson and you are leading this organization, you've got there's so many dynamics that are happening. You know this best. There's so many things that you are always juggling around, and those skills you can actually put them out there in your interview. You can actually talk to them and say, hey, I've been in this situation, I've dealt with this kind of instance of situations. And when you've got an experience that you can link to your CV, it makes it more credible, right? So then there's the tutoring opportunities, which I also did, um, varsity tutoring maths and whatever else. So yeah, it was really a matter of trying to make sure that my CV was well balanced. And then there's the other societies, War Golden Key and the rest of them. If you're not a ZCCSF fan or a member or anything, hell, there's like your Golden Keys in the SWAT and the other societies that you can actually engage and take a leadership role. Ordinarily, you wouldn't start by being a leader. You start being a member, prove yourself. Like with me, I started as a member at the CSF. I then was a deputy secretary, then became chair. So yeah, apply yourself in those kinds of environments, and then one should be fine as far as building that CV is concerned.
And that's what I call the university experience, and in two forms here, because I was talking to this other first year some other day, and we were talking about the university experience as we were just talking about these things. And I realized that
Sure.
with him, he thought that the university experience is actually about the parties, all of the fun and everything.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, that is there, of course, it's part of the university experience.
Sure.
But the big part of the university experience is actually you building the skill set, what we call
Sure.
soft skills, communication, leadership, and everything like that, because you gotta
Sure.
need them as you go forward. So I think it's very good as you elaborate that students should actually, in campus, should not just be about academia, but they also should,
Sure.
involve themselves in societies and clubs, or there's a lot of activities that one can actually do
Sure.
in campus. And as you're saying all of these things, I think one of the things that I'm also picking up is intention and association, and I know that you even participated in the CEO sleep out, and I was like, wow, that's
Oh yes.
how was that?
Yeah. That was one hell of an experience, eh? So I seriously, but so what happened was that I think it's Sun International that organizes the CEO sleep out. I don't think it has happened in the past 2 years or so.
No.
Obviously, this year being COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
But ordinarily, what happens is that some CEOs, well, Sun International would open up this opportunity to CEOs and I think 3 members of their choice to make a team of 4, and they would pledge a certain amount, say 100,000, as a donation to whatever charity that Sun International would have listed there, and then they would also pledge to actually see, or rather, get an experience of a homeless person. And what that then means is that they would actually have to sleep out in the open. And in many instances, this happens at Nelson Mandela Bridge there in Bray there.
Yeah.
So so the CEO of West Bank, that is part of First Rand.
Sure.
So First Rand has, I think, 4 legs, and then they've got the West Bank part, which is basically the vehicle financing business. So what they do there is that he then went out and said, okay, I want a student, I want a colleague, and a high school student, right? Around a high school learner. So what happened is I was selected. I don't want to go through that process of how I was selected. I was selected together with these colleagues, and then we went there, we slept there. So there you would find CEOs of other different companies. You spend the night with them, sitting literally around the fire, or in sleeping bags and in card boxes and all of that. Obviously, the security side, because there's like billions of friends worth of people sleeping on the bridge there. But it's just really the experience itself, and I guess most of the gesture that they put out there. Yeah. So yeah, really nice experience. And then I guess I came to NetBank.
I think this is the classic example of mingle with the people you want to become.
Sure. That is true. Maybe you'll be a CEO, right? No, that's a good example of it, man. Yeah, so you met quite a couple of guys there and others. I guess what you could say students as well, vets, UJ, whatever. And yeah, you spend the night connecting and stuff. What then also actually happened was with in my case, after that engagement, the CEO of Westbank then gave me his contacts, his personal number, and then he asked me to talk to his daughter, because his daughter was, I think, a year behind me in varsity. So he wanted me to just talk to his daughter about, okay, how's about basically pseudo mentoring, I guess you could say. And yeah, nice experience. But yeah, very good way to I guess meet these guys. They're not alien. They're just normal people.